Hello, Finlay Mowat here. This is just a wee kind of recap video of the past few months, how I've progressed as a producer, as an engineer, as a musician, and I'm just kind of going to break down as well what my main influences are, how I kind of work, how I've always done stuff, how I've changed up stuff, how I've evolved, and just go through producers that I really like, take influence from, aspects of production that I've learnt, aspects of production that I think are really important, and I'm just going to kind of go through what I've been doing lately. So this last year's been a bit weird in terms of everything going on, but when it comes to production, I feel like it's been quite a productive year for me, and just it's given us the opportunity to, we're not really doing anything else and we're not going anywhere, so it's given us this opportunity to develop our sound, work on new stuff, develop my setup that I've got going on, kind of looking forward to the future, what I want to do, getting work with people, although it's all online. It's kind of like almost been quite good for producers like me just to get work and stuff like that, and kind of grow my network, even though majority has been online. And I think in the last 3 months when I moved back to Edinburgh, I just felt like didn't want to waste this time that I've got, and I wanted to really focus in on what I was making and make the most of what's going on out there and all the resources that are really blown up recently with producers like Kenny Beats, Disclosure, mix engineers like Alex Toomey, Mixed by Ali, all these people starting Twitches and kind of offering up all this knowledge from the best in the game, to be honest, and why not make the most of these resources. When I was seeing that coming out, I was like, this is a worthwhile thing to invest my time into, and also kind of support that community and stuff. And a big thing that I got involved with this stuff is the beat battles that Kenny Beats was doing. Just having that every week and having that intense time limit, which I guess is good practice for if you're in the industry and you're making stuff for people who are in the studio with you. It's great. I'm still doing it, and I feel like it's been a massive help and a huge inspiration for me recently, just watching those and being a part of those, and developing my sound and the whole ethos of not overthinking stuff, because you got this hour to make something that's really going to stand out. So who cares if it doesn't, the frequencies don't line up exactly, do you know what I mean, something like that, or it's these little things that you can get really bogged down upon, but it's actually I just need to make this, and I'm going to make this so that it sounds good and it sounds organic. It sounds something that represents me. So that's been a huge help recently. And so from that, I've been making beats like Kenny Beats, been trying to mimic his styles, just going in and being like, right, let's try and make something like that.
Hear that beat?
Been taking influence from people like Kate Trinada from Disclosure. even in like recently, like old school 90s hip hop, like Dilla, Tribe Called Quest, all that sort of stuff. And all these producers and production styles are just like all kind of going on in my head, and I want to pick different parts from their styles and incorporate it into something that's unique to me and something that would stand out and be like, oh, it's something new. Oh, that's Finlay, that's Finn. Also, because I've got to write a dissertation in May, I've decided to do all of mine based on like sampling and kind of going around the question of like how much can a sample be manipulated, or how unique or how niche is a sample, so that it's kind of something new and it doesn't really get, basically I don't really want to get flagged for copyright. But I also think that sampling is such an important like foundation of styles like hip hop and house and all this, and I've set out the task of making an EP by next summer, which will come out, or next spring even. Kind of going around that question of getting these really random records from like charity shops and stuff, and just ones that I've never heard of. Google it, they don't come up, that kind of thing, and just taking parts of that, really manipulating the audio and making something completely new and creative out of that, and not really ripping it off. And this whole idea of you can't really bite another producer's sample and stuff, and I want to be going out there and finding new sounds that haven't been used before, stuff I haven't heard before, and again using all my influences and inspirations from my past and all that, bringing that all into this music. And but to be honest, it is a large thing is that I really could not be arsed with having a copyright strike or getting flagged for something like that. So yeah, I'm just going to try and make it so that nobody recognises it. But wrapped around this question of research, which I think is interesting. A few of the things that I've been making in my videos and sample flipping and all that, I think these are all with the mindset that they're like the building blocks to something that could become something new and on my EP. So look out for that. But yeah, my production background, my music background, to be honest, started as a drummer. Played drums since I was 7. Went into university to play drums, but it's changed over to production and sound tech a few years ago. And that's really the foundation of all of my production. I've said it before, I'm rubbish. I need to get better at making like bass lines, 808 patterns, chords, melodic lines. But I feel like something that is a strong aspect in my production is the rhythmical, groove-based drums and percussion. I think even though we haven't been able to really meet up with people as much, I've still had this huge opportunity to collaborate with other artists, get ideas off of them, send stuff over being like, any chance you could put a bass line onto this, any chance you could just come in and lay down some chords in this style. So for example, my good friend Ross, he plays an amazing keys player. I basically showed him like the Chicago neo soul inspired like hip hop, but artists like No Name, Saba, Smino, yeah, and these producers like Felix and Monte Booker and stuff. And I was like, yo, I love the sound of these chords and the voicings. I love just like the vibe of this, but I'm not good enough at keys to be playing this. Can you do something like this? And then stuff's come out of that, which has been great, just to like work together. I feel like that is producer's role is not just beat making, doing everything. I feel like the modern day definition of a producer is that, oh, you have to make all your beats, you have to make all your melodies, you have to mix everything yourself, you have to record everything yourself, you have to do everything. But it's more this idea-based producer, someone like Rick Rubin, to be like, this is the sound I've got in my mind, but I'm not talented enough to do it all. I can do some parts, you do some parts, let's bounce ideas off each other. You think that bit sounds good, I actually don't think it sounds good, it might sound better this way. I feel like that is what we should be also striving for, to be producers. So I learnt that loads over this last wee while, and just, actually I don't have to do all of this. And I think also something that I was being cautious of as well is that, although, like I said, having all these resources and stuff on platforms like Twitch and YouTube and all this stuff, you don't really want to get overwhelmed with all this information. I think I've learned also that it's like, pick and choose parts that are relevant to you. You don't actually have to change everything about your production style just because someone like Kenny Beats is doing it. He's learned from other people and he's learned what works for him, but some of that doesn't work for me. And I got really bogged down of like the way I was sampling. I was like, oh man, I need to be using plugins like Serato Sample and stuff, because I need to get an old MPC and do it that way. But I was like, I've tried that before and I've found it difficult, but naturally I've just gone in, chopped up samples myself manually and done that, and it's like, actually this works better for me, instead of having to completely change and learn something new just because others are doing that. And then you're just copying, and you're not doing something that's unique to, or not unique to you, but like natural for you and authentic. I feel like that's a big thing, authenticity, and just having, I don't know, your own, all your influences into one, instead of trying to mold yourself into another producer's style or sound. But no, it's been a good few months. I think I'm going to continue to pop stuff on here, and like, even if people aren't watching it, it's helpful for me, and I'm learning stuff even from making it. So yeah, and just like growing this platform, online platform of like, I don't know, who knows what can come out of this. Like, I've got jobs recently literally just because of like my Instagram profile and friends of friends of friends, this network, like, oh, you should get Finlay to that, he's done stuff like this before. And I think that's what the beauty of online networking is. I don't know when I'll next make a video, to be honest, but planning on just keeping on here. I've got a break from uni over the next few weeks, but I also like want to make that so that I can be creative in this time. So yeah, peace.